Los Angeles Lakers find themselves in one of the most fascinating off-seasons in franchise history, and not because of loud blockbuster moves or shocking superstar trades, but because of the quiet, deliberate choices that have been made behind closed doors. While the rest of the NBA world was captivated by splashy deals, superstar shuffling, and dramatic press conferences, the Lakers moved with a calm precision that almost feels unusual for a team in a city known for glitz and spectacle. To the casual observer, it might appear like nothing really happened, but if you take a closer look, this was perhaps one of the most revealing summers in years for the purple and gold. The Lakers' strategy was not about chasing headlines. It wasn't about dominating Twitter feeds or making sure ESPN segments revolved around them for weeks. Instead, the plan was subtle, calculated, and in many ways, more telling than a splashy trade would have been. Perimeter defense, reliable, three-point shooting, and consistent size in the front court were the clear priorities. These are the details of a roster meant to win games in May and June, not just November and December. And perhaps most importantly, the moves the front office refused to make might end up saying more about their confidence in this group than anything else. According to NBA insider Shah Devaney, the Lakers had multiple opportunities this summer to shake up their roster. They weren't just hypothetical scenarios, they were real trade packages on the table involving two important rotation pieces, Gabe, Vincent, and Vanderbilt. In today's NBA, role players like those are often treated as disposable chips, moved around in exchange for bigger names or used to clear salary space. But the Lakers did something that surprised a lot of insiders. They turned every one of those opportunities down. Pelinka and the front office stood firm. No quick-fix trades, no panicked moves, no sell-high philosophy. Vincent and Vanderbilt remain Lakers, and the sense around the organization is that the roster, as it stands, is essentially set. There will be no major shakeups until the season itself forces one. That's a bold decision in an NBA climate where fans and media often clamor for constant change, but it shows something else. The Lakers believe in the group they've built, while most of the headlines this summer centered around the never-ending storyline of LeBron James, his age, his durability, his decision to return for another season, and his legendary chase for championship banner number 18. The roles of Vincent and Vanderbilt have quietly been overlooked. Yet the Lakers' commitment to them suggests their importance might be greater than most people realize. Gabe Vincent, for instance, has already proven on a big stage what he's capable of. During the Miami Heat's 2023 playoff run, he became a breakout star, torching defenses with clutch three-pointers, confident shot-making, and relentless energy. He was a fighter, undrafted, overlooked, and yet impossible to ignore. That earned him a contract with Los Angeles and high expectations from Laker Nation. But his first season in purple and gold was a nightmare. Injuries kept him sidelined, limited him to just 11 appearances, and created uncertainty about whether he could ever regain that spark. Last season was different. Vincent found his rhythm and his place. He played in 72 games, logging a little. Over 21 minutes a night, averaging 6.4 points and shooting 35.3% from beyond the arc. On paper, those aren't superstar numbers. But for a team like the Lakers, those steady contributions matter a great deal. A reliable guard who can stretch the floor, handle defensive pressure, and provide consistency is exactly what this roster has needed. Vincent may not be the type of player who fills highlight reels, but he fills gaps, and teams chasing titles know that filling gaps can be the difference between winning a series and going home. Then there's Vanderbilt, often referred to by fans simply as Vando. He's not a scorer, he's not a glamorous player, and he's not going to be the subject of SportsCenter montages. But anyone who watches him closely sees the impact. Vanderbilt is the kind of player coaches dream of, defending multiple positions, hustling for rebounds, tipping balls loose, forcing turnovers, and making energy plays that swing momentum. Over his 3 seasons with the Lakers, Vanderbilt has appeared in 91 games, averaging 5.3 points, 5.4 rebounds, 1.3 assists, and 1.1 steals. Modest numbers on the surface, but when he's on the floor, the Lakers' defensive identity sharpens. He is disruptive, versatile, and willing to do all the little things that rarely show up in stat sheets, but are crucial to winning. Injuries have been Vanderbilt's biggest obstacle, and staying on the court consistently has been the challenge of his career. But when he's healthy, he's the kind of defender who changes matchups, and the Lakers know that kind of presence cannot be replaced easily. So why keep Vincent and Vanderbilt instead of turning them into trade pieces? The answer lies in the broader context of the Lakers' summer moves. The team added Marcus Smart, a former Defensive Player of the Year and one of the most competitive guards in the league. They acquired DeAndre Ayton, a legitimate starting center with both size and offensive ability. They brought in Jake LaRavia, a young wing with shooting upside and a chance to grow into an important role. Together, these moves create depth, versatility, and balance in ways last year's roster didn't have. Keeping Vincent and Vanderbilt in that mix gives the team two more reliable pieces that fit the vision of what the Lakers want to be. And then, of course, there's Luka Doncic. His presence alone changes everything. Reports suggest Luka has been pushing the front office to build a roster ready to win immediately. The message was clear. No more experiments, no more let's see how it plays out seasons. Luka doesn't want to waste prime years waiting for the perfect roster. He wants the perfect roster now. Keeping Vanderbilt and Vincent while adding veterans like Smart and Ayton shows that the Lakers are responding to that demand, but there's another layer to this. The Lakers understand timing. Turning down trade offers wasn't just about loyalty or patience. It was about preserving flexibility. The first half of the season is going to be a test. Chemistry, health, and performance will dictate how this group looks. If everything clicks, then holding on to Vincent and Vanderbilt could prove to be one of Pelinka's smartest decisions. But if it doesn't, both players become valuable trade chips at the deadline, allowing the Lakers to adjust without having lost leverage early. In other words, the Lakers didn't just say no to those trades, they said not yet. For Lakers fans, that means every game Vincent and Vanderbilt play is more than just another night on the schedule. It's a live audition. It's a chance to prove they belong in Los Angeles long-term, or perhaps an opportunity to boost their value before the next round of trade talks. Either way, their importance to this roster is greater than most realize. The offseason story, however, doesn't end with roster moves. There's also been a monumental shift at the ownership level that could shape the future of the Lakers for decades. In June, news broke that Mark Walter, the principal owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, had purchased a majority stake in the Lakers. At first, it was a headline that seemed almost too big to process. Two of the most iconic sports franchises in Los Angeles, now linked by the same leadership. Andrew Friedman, the Dodgers' president of baseball operations, knows Mark Walter better than most. His comments about Walter should both reassure and excite Lakers fans. Friedman acknowledged the incredible legacy of the Buss family, who were beloved stewards of the team. Anytime ownership changes, there's risk, especially when the prior owners set such a high standard. But Friedman emphasized that Walter isn't an owner interested in coasting or maintaining the status quo. He is fiercely competitive, driven by a desire to win, and committed to giving fans a product they can be proud of. That competitive fire isn't just talk, it's backed up by a track record. Since taking over the Dodgers, Walter has consistently invested in elite talent year after year. His ownership has produced 2 championships, 12 consecutive playoff appearances, and a reputation for being one of the most aggressive and ambitious franchises in baseball. But Walter's vision doesn't stop at player payroll. He poured more than $100 million into upgrading the Dodgers' facilities, renovating clubhouses, adding cutting-edge training equipment, and giving players every possible resource to succeed. Fans don't see these investments, but players feel them every single day. If Walter brings that same approach to the Lakers, it could mean a new golden era for the franchise. Already, his impact is showing. the massive 3-year, $165 million extension for Luka Doncic was the kind of bold move that screamed urgency and ambition. It wasn't about waiting for a slow rebuild. It was about locking in a superstar and signaling that this team is playing for championships right now. For Lakers fans, Walter's arrival is about more than big checks. It's about vision, infrastructure, and culture. He doesn't just want to win one title, he wants to build an organization that sustains success year after year the way the Dodgers have. That means better resources for players, elite coaching, and development staff, and a commitment to excellence at every level. But even with a deep-pocketed owner, the Lakers face constraints. As it stands, they are just $1.1 million under the NBA's luxury tax apron, a limit that brings heavy financial penalties if crossed. That restriction has temporarily capped the roster at 14 play.